Ever sat in therapy and thought, wait, am I the one who should be billing them for this? In some, hopefully rare cases, therapists can cross lines, push their own agenda, or leave you wondering if they're the client. And what does it look like if a therapist isn't living up to their professional and ethical duties? Spotting the red flags early can save you money, time, and a whole lot of emotional whiplash. I'm Gabriella, therapist in training, sharing my grad school journey to engage, empower, and educate. So let's get into the 8 biggest therapist red flags you should never ignore. Dear future therapist, I'm Gabriella, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The first red flag you should never ignore is boundary issues. Yes, therapists are human. We eat tacos, cry at Pixar movies, and overshare in our group chats. But therapy is not the place for your therapist to unload details about their personal life. Some self-disclosure, done intentionally, can build trust, like saying, I'm a veteran too. But when you suddenly start getting updates on their Bumble dates or their mom's passive-aggressive texts, that's likely oversharing, not therapy. Ask yourself, is this helping me or is this helping them unload? If it's the latter, it's likely a boundary issue. The second red flag is they display prejudice. This one should be obvious, but sometimes it hides in plain sight. If a therapist openly expresses disdain for your culture, your identity, or your faith, it's not okay, nor is it what we're trained to do. And this isn't to be confused with a therapist challenging you. For example, if you say something like, my religion says I should hate turtles and strip them of their right to be turtles, and your therapist asks you to unpack that, that's not prejudice. That's gentle confrontation. And healthy self-examination is central to the therapeutic process, especially when it's the type of self-examination that is connected to your goals in therapy. However, if your therapist is arguing with you about your identity, stereotyping, or straight up devaluing who you are, big red flag. The third red flag is your therapist promises to fix you. If your therapist ever promises to fix you, please run like you're in a horror movie and the basement lights just flickered. You're not a broken appliance. Contrary to what some might think, therapy isn't about fixing, it's about growth. While therapy can certainly be brief or solution focused, anyone selling you on a quick fix fantasy either doesn't understand therapy, or worse, they're arrogant and willing to make a false promise. The fourth red flag is pushy or controlling behavior. Therapy is not boot camp. If your therapist is pressuring you to spill all your darkest secrets before you're ready, or bulldozing you into an approach that doesn't feel right, that's a problem. Therapy should be collaborative. The client sets the pace and the agenda with their therapy goals, and the therapist guides the session, giving you tools and insights. The fifth red flag is a therapist diagnoses you in the first session. Unless you walk in with a 200-page psych report, most of the time, a therapist can't responsibly diagnose you in a single session. Human psychology is complex. Symptoms often overlap across multiple conditions, and context matters. A quick label based on an hour of conversation is not only premature, it can be misleading and even harmful. When a therapist rushes to diagnose, it usually means they're not fully listening or taking the time to truly understand your unique experience. Building rapport and gathering a comprehensive understanding of your history is essential before any diagnosis can be made. A thoughtful therapist will prioritize building rapport first and pathologizing second. The sixth red flag is ethical or legal violations. It may seem obvious, but it still happens. Therapists hitting on clients, violating confidentiality, these behaviors are unacceptable. You have every right to end the relationship, report the misconduct, and protect your well-being. Therapy relies on trust, and once that trust is broken, the therapeutic structure is compromised. The seventh red flag is lack of cultural awareness or humility. Your therapist doesn't need to share your cultural background or even your beliefs, but they should approach your identity with curiosity and respect, not assumptions. If they dismiss your culture, values, or gender-related experiences as irrelevant, they're overlooking a crucial part of who you are. Cultural context is essential to effective therapy, not optional. And the eighth red flag is there's no clear direction or structure in session. A lot of therapy sessions will naturally feel open-ended, and that's totally normal and intentional. However, if every session feels aimless with no reflection and no tools, that's a problem. Therapy doesn't have to be perfectly linear, but you should notice some progress or at least a clear sense of direction. If not, the sessions aren't effectively supporting your goals. Hopefully all of these red flags haven't scared you away from therapy forever. That's not my intention at all. It is really to make sure that people approach therapy and the field of mental health with caution. Therapy should feel safe, respectful, and collaborative. If it doesn't, you have every right to advocate for yourself and find someone who actually meets your needs. Wanting a therapist who respects your identity and values is not being too picky. It's setting a healthy standard. Dear future therapist, thanks for watching. I'll see you in our next session.